Hello, welcome back. It's another live stream. We're doing monsters today. This is Game Master preparation. It is a work day, so I have a presentation and then we'll go into actually building some tools that you can use. For those of you who don't know how this works, normally what I do is I have a slideshow which I present, which I will do quite quickly today, and then we'll go straight into actually building some tools around monsters to help you make your own monsters, customize your stuff, do stuff in some way. I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. My suggestion is grab some food, some drink, and we'll do this as quickly as we can, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of actually helping you build your own stuff. Okay, that's the intention. That's what I want to do. Let's make it happen, shall we? Okay, pull out that. And yes, I am now operating with two Logitech Brio webcams, and I am not having any technical issues with my camera, which is wonderful. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about role-playing games. This is Game Master Preparation Lesson 3, building monsters, customizing monsters, making monsters, creating monsters, crafting monsters, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're here to do. The overview for today is monster stat block builders. I'm going to give you a couple that you can use for various systems. Inspiration for monster creation, where you get your ideas from. The monster building process, what that might look like. Monster story questions, because we need to have a story or the lore behind our monster as well. And then monster design and creation, and then some miscellaneous recommendations. The objectives is to explain how to build or craft, create concepts and stat blocks for your monsters in a role-playing game. Demonstrate how to build a monster, okay? And also practice that. Now, I'm generally more about getting you to be part of this process, so be warned. I will ask you lots of questions and I will try to get you to take part. That doesn't mean I won't do stuff myself, but I'm very much about that. Okay, monster stat block builders. What are they? Where are they? What can they do? Where can you find them? Well, there is the Pathfinder 2nd edition monster tool. There's a website. It allows you to actually make monsters for Pathfinder 2nd edition. There's also the Call of Cthulhu creature generator, which allows you to make, of course, creatures or monsters for Call of Cthulhu, that particular role-playing game. We have Starfinder Monster Builder. So if you're playing Starfinder, you can use that. If you're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e, which I'm sure a lot of you are, then you can use the Stat Block Builder. So the D&D 5e Stat Block Builder will do a reasonable job for what you want. Then there is Giftglee's Monster Maker. Gosh, I hope I got that right. Giftglee's Monster Maker. That will also allow you to make monsters, mostly for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. I think it's designed around that. There is the Monster Shuffler as well. If you want another version, again, it does things for D&D 5e. And then you can also use ChatGPT to make a stat block for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. I haven't tried to make stat blocks for different systems such as Dungeons & Dragons 4e, or for something like Shadow Dark or Dungeons & Dragons 3.5, or even basic BECME Dungeons & Dragons with ChatGPT. But ChatGPT version 4, if you pay for that version, may well be capable of scraping the internet and allowing you to do that, because that's really basically what ChatGPT does. It just scrapes the internet and takes things that somebody else has done. So you could potentially use that as a tool for making your stat blocks. Okay, so that's where you can get your stat block creators. Let's go into, you're going to make your own thing. Where do we start? Inspiration for monster creation. I always start with brainstorming on a page of paper. If you get a piece of paper, a white piece of paper, pen, pencil, maybe a eraser, rubber. When I say rubber, I do not mean condom. Write down the words and draw maybe a little sketch. It doesn't have to be a good sketch. It's just for you, okay? It gives you an idea of what you're dealing with. And you just brainstorm, okay? You can use books, movies, video games, and even music to actually inspire your creation of a monster or a creature. You can use Google search. You can use Pinterest art, ArtStation, DeviantArt websites. They will give you ideas. Now, if you don't want to take somebody else's stuff, there is another option for you, okay? And you certainly don't need to go and rely on artificial intelligence servers that actually can draw up a monster for you. What you can do is you can simply combine real-world animals or fantasy monsters together, okay? And just a written description. It doesn't need to be a drawing. It's always nice if you can, but you can just write that up. It's an easy way to create a new monster is by combining real-world animals. And then randomly generating your monster from a chart or table. We do a lot of this on this channel. There is a lot of tables and charts that you can use. They're on Patreon that allow you to build your monster from the ground up, starting with nothing. And there are other places where you can get tables and charts as well for different aspects of your monster. So that is the general process of getting your inspiration and starting that process, okay, which is in fact our next topic, which is once we've done the inspiration, it's building the monster. What does that look like? How does that work? Well, the good news is I do actually have some information for you. So, monster building processes. Once you've created your monster concept, you need to describe the monster's appearance, so write it down. You select an image if you want to have an image. If there's an image that you can use, that's great. Or draw a picture of your monster. You could even get your children to actually draw the monster for you. If you're not worried about how it looks and you're quite happy for them to be part of that process, why not? Again, you can also use software like Midjourney, Artificial Intelligence, Starry AI, Stable Diffusion, Hotpot AI. I believe the pay version, the pay version of Stable Diffusion that you download onto your computer probably does a better job of making artwork for yourself. Now, I'm not suggesting you use it for publication, but if you're just using it for your home games, why not? Okay, that's probably one of the better versions, but you pay for that thing. Develop some special abilities for your monster. We have a whole set of tables that I've put onto Patreon that allow you to do this. So create your special abilities for your monster. Give the monster a name that matches your monster concept in some way. Then make a story, give it a history, give it some ecology, give it a habitat, give it some methods or mythology, not so much mythology, methods and strategies for engaging in combat, give it some motivations, give the monster some lore, some meat and potatoes, so it can be part of an adventure, so it can be part of a story that essentially your players are creating with you. Okay, next, build the monster stat block. Usually the last thing I do is doing the mathematics for a monster. It's always much easier to start with the concept, start with the lore, start with the story, and build the mechanics around that. What you need to not do is chase the mathematical unicorn that is the monster stat block. Okay? There is no perfect monster stat block. You get it as good as you can. Okay? Do not spend too much time on something like this, because ultimately all it's being used for is combat. And if it's just for your home game, you've got better things to do than mucking around with dealing with that part of the equation. Sometimes they won't even fight the monster, and sometimes they will. And sometimes the monster will be dead before they even get a chance to attack. So don't spend too much time on chasing that unicorn. It can be it's uncatchable. You can't catch that little sucker. Okay, monster story. This is where we actually deal with the story of our monster, the monster lore. Here are some questions you need to consider. You don't need to answer all these questions straight away, but you do need to answer some of these questions. Where does the monster normally live? Does it live in the ocean? Does it live on land? Does it live in a cave? Where is the monster? Okay, why is that monster actually currently in a location for this adventure? Is it living in its normal habitat where it would normally live, or is it outside of its normal habitat? Has it had to go somewhere for this particular adventure that you're running? So those are questions that you would ask with relation to the adventure that you're running, but you still need to know where its normal habitat would be. What does the monster want? What is its motivation? What is its goal? Or what does the monster specifically want from your player characters? That might be different from what the monster wants. What the monster wants in general might be very different to what it wants from the characters. What makes your monster unique? Okay? What makes your monster stand out from all the other monsters that you've created or that exist in the world? What makes the monster scary? If it is actually meant to be scary, not all monsters are, but if it is supposed to be scary, what makes it scary? And possibly combined a few different ideas and abilities to create your monster concept. When you're unsure about how well you're doing, sometimes just mashing things together can work quite well, or it can work not so well. What does it feed on? What does it eat? What does it consume? Does it need to drink water? Does it drink blood? Whatever it might be. Decide on what it feeds on, what its diet is. How does your monster survive? There's going to be some behaviors, some things that it does that helps it survive. So come up with some ideas around that. What is the monster's territorial range? So will it move from its lair out about 20 kilometers, or is it going to only be moving out 1 kilometer from its lair? Does it have a territorial range at all? So you need to think about this. This is the distance it will move from its normal nest, home, lair, to actually feed on something. How does the monster sense creatures or prey in the environment? So does it have eyes? Does it have a sense of smell? Does it have ears? Does it have some sort of form of touch? Does it have dark vision, infravision? Can it see heat? All those sorts of things. You've got to think about this sort of stuff, okay? Because that is how you work out whether your monster will ever detect the characters in the first place. What does the monster ignore? There are going to be things the monster or creature does not find any interest in, and they won't bother actually engaging in any way. So how do we do that, okay? What does the monster ignore? There's going to be something. How does the monster communicate? Now, we've been discussing a lot about monster communication recently. Does it use buzzes and clicks? Does it have telepathy? Does it have a language? Does it actually speak? How does the monster reproduce? In other words, does it give birth? Does it lay eggs? Is it like a mammal? Does it just divide? There's going to be a lot of different things you can deal with this. Okay, reproduction. And then how does the monster change the environment that it's living in a specific place? Because all animals, all creatures, all monsters will affect their environment in some way. Not just a legendary dragon. So how do they affect their environment? By living in that environment. Okay, so those are the questions around story that you need to answer. And we are not finished. Monster design and creation. There are some things that you need to do when you're creating your monster that you need to keep in mind. And the first thing is you need to decide when you're designing your monster, how difficult do you want your monster to be if it gets into a fight? Do you want it to be easy, medium, difficult, or just deadly? What is the role that the monster plays on the battlefield? Is it a solo monster? Does it only fight alone? Is it a leader that leads other monsters? Is it a soldier that fights in the front line? Is it an artillery type monster which shoots something from a distance? Is it a controller which changes the environment or affects multiple targets all at once? Or is it a skirmisher that jumps into melee or close quarter combat and jumps back out again? So you need to decide what sort of monster you're dealing with here. Select the ability or attribute scores for the monster that makes sense. Not so much about what level your monster is. That's a different dial. It is probably better to think about what you think the ability or attribute scores should be that make sense for the monster you're dealing with. How long does the monster survive in the battle? So how much health, how many hit points will it have? All hit points are, or health are, they are not meat. Okay, they are not actually truly health. They are just an abstraction. They are a timer to determine how long the monster will stay in the fight. That is it. That's all they are. So decide how much you need. Assigning monster features or traits that have some sort of effect or always have an effect. So a monster feature is something, or trait is something that is always going on. So in other words, a monster that flies will always be able to fly. It's not like it can only fly once a day or a couple of times a day. It's always going to be able to fly. A fish will always be able to swim. Those are the things I'm talking about. Create special powers or abilities for the monster. Quite a lot of these things are going to be based on an action, something that they have to use as a resource during their turn. So give it some special powers. Okay, things that it has to consciously turn on or do. What sort of attacks does the monster make with the mechanics of the game you're using? Is it biting? Has it got claws? Does it have teeth? Or does it have a tentacle? All sorts of things can be used to decide what that's going to be. Make the mathematical adjustments to your stat block for your monster. Do that last. All these other things should be happening first. And if you're dealing with trying to make sure that your monster is mathematically correct, then check the monster stat block and its mathematics or the mathematical difficulty for your monster. Do that last with whatever system you're using. Now, if you're dealing with Dungeons & Dragons 5e, my advice to you is you can consult the Dungeon Master Guide for D&D 5e on page 274. It provides a quick monster stat block table, and that there will give you your maths. If you just pick them, now every time you pick a particular monster challenge rating off that table, if you adjust any of those numbers by just one, you don't need to worry about shifting what difficulty level or challenge rating the monster is. So make your increments and changes by one. That's it. And then you won't have to worry about messing with anything. Build the monster special abilities and attacks. So even if you come up with the ideas, you still have to make sure you can do that. Now you can build special abilities and attacks from the tables that I provide on Patreon, but the Dungeon Master Guide does have page 280 to 281 if you're dealing with D&D 5e, which will allow you to do that. Now, if you need to check your challenge rating, trying to follow the instructions in that Dungeon Master Guide, or frankly any guide, even Pathfinder, is just bonkers. But if you're dealing with 5e, there is a calculator, a challenge rating calculator on a website for 5e tools. So if you go to 5e tools, look for the CR calculator or challenge rating calculator. That will allow you to punch in some information and give you at the end a good idea of whether your monster is mathematically on par with what everything else is going on. That doesn't necessarily mean that the challenge rating you have got there is going to work for your group, because the size of your group is important, the experience level of your group is important, the way they've built their characters is important, who rolled what on the 20-sided dice is important. Challenge rating does not determine whether something is actually going to work exactly the way you would like it to work. It is simply a very rough guide. It's just the maths. That's it. Okay, now every time I run this program, I like to actually give some miscellaneous recommendations. So here are my miscellaneous recommendations to you. The monster will always feel a little unfinished, and that is fine. So don't let your perfectionist aspect of your own personality stop you from completing the monster. Sometimes it's good enough. In fact, most of the time it's good enough. It's easy to get fixated on the stat block building aspect of monster creation, when in fact that may well be no good to you when you need to integrate it into an adventure or into a story if you've got an event-based adventure. Location-based adventure, maybe not quite so important, but in an event-based adventure, you're going to find it much more difficult to make your monster that you've created work if all you've done is the maths. Okay, avoid judging the value and quality of your monster. The value and quality of your monster is only important to you and the people at your table that you're running it for. It is not important to the open market unless you are selling it. Okay, and likely is you are not going to be selling it. So don't worry about that sort of thing. You never know what people are going to like and dislike. You're not a professional designer. You're not expected to be so. So do not worry about that sort of stuff. That is my advice to you, and I hope that it serves you well. I run this program about every 2 months, so I'll be back again. But I want to thank all of my patrons who support me on Patreon so I can keep running this program and keep making tools for you. I want to thank you for watching and listening, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, I'm back. All right, so we need to get busy because it is very hot today, which means I'm going to foreshorten my live stream. I'm only going to go for another 40 minutes and then I'm going to take off. The reason being is that I do not want to pass out, and I don't want you to see me passing out. So I thought that would be the best way to deal with that. Now, I'm going to go through the chat very quickly, and then we will be just getting straight into doing some stuff. Now, we've been building communication styles. I said we're going to do 100 different communication styles for monsters. Really, that's being almost, that's impractical. I think the reality is we may be able to get 40, and that will be about it. And we've got quite a few different ones. 100 monster senses. I want to put this on my list as something to do for the future. We've already done monster weaknesses, 100 monster weaknesses. We've done monster food and diet, which proved to be an interesting process, but we've done that. So we will continue to add more and more tools on as we go, and I will keep uploading them onto Patreon so that you can use them. Now, let's see. We've got some people here. I see we have Pale Rider. Hello, Pale Rider. How are you doing? We have Noroak. It's going to be interesting. It's always great to have Noroak here. He has some great ideas. We're going to hopefully help finish off the table for monster communication today. We have Peter here as well. So Noroak is a patron. Thank you for all being here. And I think we should just get started, right? So I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to switch us over to the screen that we require. And then you can see what we have done and what we have still left to do. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yep, certainly I think it does. All right, so whoops. Press this button here, put this down there. And then I think that's good. Transition over. There we are. Right, so I'm going to grab my phone so I can see what you were saying. I know there will be a bit of a lag. That happens. But yeah, we should be able to get this done in no time. And the hat will be coming off. Okay. All right. Now you're probably thinking, Fred, why don't you not have your phone ready to go? Just sitting beside, because I was charging. I was charging my phone. That's my excuse. I was waiting for my phone to charge. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Boom. Bam, 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 ba-dam. Ba-dam. Okay, here we go. And there it is. Hopefully there's no sound coming through. Okay. Miscellaneous obsessions. Okay, all right. Let me show you what we've... Let's get rid of this. I can't deal with that. That's not going to work. So let's go over to here. So far, this is what we have. We have binary. We have bioluminescence as one of our communication styles. We have blood drinker. So it communicates by drinking somebody's blood. Bubbles, communicating in bubbles. Color, changing color. Colored feces, by pooping out colored feces, they can communicate. Dancing is a form of communication. Drawing, okay, ejecting black ink that floats in the air, that's drawing. The dream whisperer, so controls creatures' dream to communicate messages. Electricity, electric shocks, that'll be fun. Farting communication, we decided to include that. Hive, I know a few of you are thinking, oh my God, why am I here? Hive mind, we decided that a unified consciousness would be quite cool as a communication method. Knotting, so creating different knots and sequences as a coding process. Leaf curling, so curling leaves on a plant. We had the mycelium network, or the mycorrhizal. I don't know if I've got that right. Basically, it's root networks, okay? Nucleosynthesis, which was basically radiation, communication through nuclear radiation, electromagnetic radiation. We have the olfactory, so emitting smells. We have parasites that can infect you, that communicate. We have possession. We have quantum entanglement, which was really complicated. In other words, sending messages instantly from one place to another. We have sign language, of course. We have singing as a form of communication. We have spores being ejected. We have symbiosis, a symbiotic relationship. We have tactile, so touching. So slaps, hugs, lips, licks. Is it tips? Bits, bites, bites. It's got a bite, not bite. bits, it's bites. Bites and caresses. Talking, so just talking, spoken language. Telepathy, we decided would be one. Thermal, so generating temperature on itself through its extremities to communicate. Writing, so the creature writes on surfaces with different symbols to represent ideas and information. Now, this is what we have that is unfinished. So we've still got to finish this. It's still got to be done. And it's going to get done because that's what has to happen today. I think we get to 40 and we stop. I think at 40 there will be no more that we can actually figure out what to do with. So let's just deal with that. So if you can come up with some ideas around, somebody wants to come up with some ideas around art or taps or clicks. I'm not sure what to do with that. Heraldry, I don't know what to do with that. Emotion, I was a little unsure what to deal with that. Poetry, I think we're going to put poetry in a second. Excretion, if you come up with something else that is different to what we've already got, you let me know. So, I would like you to help me tag name some of the stuff and help fill out the rest of it. Hashtag. What are your monster communication ideas? So tag name and description. And I'll do the rest. How's that sound? Okay, so what have you got here, Noroak? D100 miscellaneous obsessions. Always give your creature an obsession or desire for some miscellaneous thing. Obsession with gems, spoons, birds, books, etc. Oh, I see. It's not a bad idea. I mean, we can add that to the list. Obsessions is not a stupid idea at all, Noroak. I'm with you with that. Twin speak. The creature can speak 2 or more sentences simultaneously. It is difficult to uncover which sentences are the true meaning. That is so bizarre and strange that we should definitely include it. Let's include that into our twin. I'm going to just copy and paste it rather than try to type it out. And okay, so poetry. The creature's language consists entirely of rhythmic couplets. So poetry, P. Putting it into alphabetical order. P. Where does P live? P. Poetry. There we go. Poetry. Okay, so that's in. We'll come back to that in a second. We should definitely grab Noroak's idea. And I'm not going to move the numbers of these things, really. I'm just going to sort of, they won't shift around too much. There isn't too much to sort of move around anyway. So if you've got some ideas on how to better describe these communication methods, by all means, let me know. Anyway, so just quickly, you come back to my head. I will grab your twin speech idea, and we will drop it in here somewhere. There we go. Cool. Because that is pretty well formed. That's nice. Art. Oh, art. The creature uses paintings. Now, I think what we might need to do is we might need to broaden art out a little bit more than that. Because if we keep art that way, the problem is that then only those particular ways of communicating, like paintings and drawings. So, well, paintings and drawings. No, I think that's right. That's fine. Actually, can we go further? Can we go sculpture? Sculpture. We could even include sculpture. I think that's not a bad idea either. Let's do that, shall we? Let's include sculpture. So, the creature crafts, creates art using paintings, drawings, and sculpture sculpture to communicate its intent. There we go. And there we go. So let's go with this. This is art. A for art. Let's grab art. Cut. And we'll place art in there, which will be at the very beginning, just like that. I'm hoping that none of you can hear my neighbor trying to play the saxophone, because it's not good. Twin speech. All right, so let's adjust this. The creature can speak 2 or more sentences simultaneously. It is difficult to uncover which sentences are the true meaning. That is going to cause some trouble. All right. So this sort of suggests that the creature has 2 mouths. Might have more than one mouth that it can speak with. Twin speech. Twin. That's very strange. For those of you who are unaware, Norok has some of the strangest ideas. Good ideas, but still the strangest. Okay, cool. So that's that one done. So we're doing pretty well. So I think emotion is pretty much in the can here. I think we can probably work with this. This is 11 Arial. Why does this look different? It's because they're completely different text. Okay, so it should be Arial. This should be Arial. Is this Arial? That's Arial. That's not Arial. So from about there, it's not Arial. No, it's from here that it's not Arial. Okay, Arial 11. Okay, so we've fixed it. Thank God for that. All right, emotion. The creature can rapidly change emotional states to impart a message. Now, we're going to get rid of this girl crying thing. Not necessary. Not necessary. But the emotion thing, I'm good. I'm good with that. There's going to be a lot of confusion. Emotion. E for emotion. 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 Right here. Just between the farter and the electric. Yeah, this one. Right there. Oh, what do you got here? Distant destruction. The creature communicates by destroying things oh, good lord, that is very different. That is very different. Okay, so I'm going to have to copy and paste that idea in. I'm going to work on these other ones, but we'll do that in a second. So so you can see what we're working on. I will just move these down. Create less of a space there so you can see what we're currently working on here. These are ideas that people put forward. Didn't get very far with them, but that's all right, because we are currently on 33 and only need 7 more to go. All right, and I think we're pretty much there. I think we're on the verge. All right, let's do this one. You get my face again, people. Sorry. Distant destruction. I think what I'll do is I want to mark this so I can actually move it around. This is very clever, Norok. Okay, so let's put in distant destruction. Okay, all right. So let's go back to the sheet. I am aware that having 2 computer monitors would be more sensible, but the reality is that I have a 4K 30. Is it a 30? It's a 30-inch monitor in my office. There isn't space for another monitor. I'm not even sure. I'm not really sure. I don't think I could afford to have another one hooked up. I don't know where would I plug it into the back of my. There's so many cables in the back of my computer now. Distant destruction. The creature communicates by destroying things. Each destruction method means something different. That's very clever. It is so odd too. Okay, so distant destruction. Distant. D. Dis me. There we go. Here we distant. Here we go. Right. Sweet. Sweet. Cool. Do we have another one? Breaking a stick with its hands means breaking a stick with your feet means goodbye. Breaking a stick forehead is declaration of war. Okay. Or that would be, it's very Star Trek, you know, communication being a big factor. Excretion. A specialized gland produces complex chemical excretions that can be deposited in the environment. The message is deciphered through subsequent ingestion. Ingestion. Injection. Ingest. It doesn't understand this word. Why does it not understand this word? Is ingestion, is it not spelt that way? Ingestion. Ingestion. Oh, it's a G. That's why. It's not J, it's G. Ingestion. Oh my gosh, my spelling is so bad. Ingestion. Ingestion. Better. Okay. Through ingestion. So you then have to what? Lick or eat the secretion. Oh, God, that's bad. That is such a disgusting communication method. We're going to keep it. And excretion. Excretion. Dear. Hello, Fred Huber. I can see you in the chat. I haven't actually looked at the messages, but I can see you in the chat. Thank you for being here. Fred Huber is a patron and probably, I would say, the live stream king. Is it the live stream king or queen of my channel? He shows up to so many of my live streams. It's just unbelievable. Crazy stuff. Okay, so we need to figure out what this is going to be, this is going to be, this is going to be. We're doing all right. We're doing actually very, very well. And I feel like most of them are very different in terms of how they work, which is great. Isn't it great? Okay. A clicker. Yes, so tag name clicker. Clicker. The monster uses taps, clicks, and scraping noises against its body or environmental surfaces to convey information. There we go. Now the reason I put scraping, I was thinking of the grasshopper. Sounds like it's clicking, but what it's doing is it's scraping its legs against another part of its body, and that's how it makes that sound. So this kind of works. It's very much like the cricket or the cicada, although I think the cicadas do something else as well. But crickets, I'm pretty sure they do a lot of body scraping. So we'll put the clicker, and we'll go K for clicking, key, K, C for clicking, click, click, click. So it needs to be before there, after bubbles. So the bubble communication, and now we have the clicker. Cool, nice. Well done. Okay, next. Fred Huber, you're never late. You're here when you're ready to be here. That's how it works. That's how it works. Yeah, ingestion is a G. Yeah, ingestion. Heraldry, the monster communicates through apocalyptic visions. That's not a bad idea. Is that heraldry, is it? It's the flags and territorial kingdoms. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Symbolic. I'm a little, yeah, so I don't quite understand what they were trying to communicate. I did not understand, so I got a little bit confused myself. So let's go over here and let's type that in, and heraldry with the use, display, and regulation of heraldry symbols employed to distinguish individuals, armies, institutes, and okay. So I see. So we just need to take some of the language out of it to help make this work, because right now it's still pretty confusing. It's all right. If you can't be here earlier, then you can't be here earlier. It's fine. Yeah, it wasn't herald. It's heraldry, as in, yeah, it's the other herald. It's the other herald. The creature communicates and displays symbolic armoral. I don't know what is armoral bearings. Copy. And what does armoral actually mean? Going to be it. Armoral related to heraldry. Armoral. Okay, so armoral is related to heraldry and the heraldic devices. Okay, so this is, and bearings. What is the meaning of armoral bearing? Okay, that's a good idea. Deficient armoral bearing, heraldry consisting of a design image depicting a shield. Okay. On a shield. So it's going to be designing a design bearing charge bearings. So I need to just make this a little bit. The creature creates and displays symbolic designs images and depictions, science images, weapons, and animal, I guess animal armoral bearings. Is that going to work? Heraldic bearing. Okay, I think that's giving you the gist of it. Creates and displays symbolic designs, images, weapons, and animal armoral bearings to pass Oh, it's a hard one. Assimilating communication. A creature has to temporarily meld with another creature to convey its meaning. Oh, that's interesting. Like that. I like that. It's good. Let me just get this. This is a hard one, so I'm taking a little bit longer to mull through it so I get it right. Heraldry. The creature creates and displays symbolic designs, images, weapons, images of weapons and animals, images of weapons and animal armoral bearings to let's say represent represent information. That'll do. Okay, I think I got this one. I see we've got a couple in chat that I need to pull. Heraldry. Okay, HIJKLM, HIJK, so H, heraldry. I think it's heraldry. It's going to go here after the farter. Leave. After the farter. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, cool. All right, so we have 3 more to go, and it looks like that 3 more have been, well, at least 2 more have been figured out. Fluorography. I'm not sure what that's going to be. I don't know what that is. It's going to take a little bit of research on my part. All right, let's see what the chat has. Assimilating communication. So we're going to take Norok's idea, and then it looks like Fred Huber may have figured out what the other one is supposed to be. I feel like that might be a repeat, but we'll see. Assimilating communication. Assimilating communication. The creature has to temporarily meld with another creature to convey its meaning. So we're putting that near the front. I'm fine with that. That's good. Let's go cut. Let's put that there. And we need to take the other one. I believe Fred Huber has chloromorpho. Would be color changing or colorful bioluminescence. Okay, so it's we've done it. Yeah, so it's a repeat. You're right, Fred Hooper. We've already got something like that, so we'll take that away. And it is a confusing tag name. If we just put color, that's good. I think that's fine. The next one to be great on a sentient golem. Yes, yeah, you could definitely have heraldry is a something. Yeah. Now Fred Huber, fluorography would be like the fluoroscope communication by radioactive images, or it would be like a florist communicating by displays of flowers. Oh, would it? I like the idea of displays of flowers. Sky scribe. Well, let's take both those ideas, and I think we have come to the end of our list. Which is, thank God for that. Anyway, let me just transfer your ideas across, and then I'll go back to the other screen, and you should be able to see me making some adjustments. But yes, this is good. That means we have 40. I think we've got more than enough, frankly. Let's go. Here we go. Let's have a look. Sky scribe. The creature can write messages in the sky in a language it can understand. In a language it can understand, or in a language anyone can understand. That would be interesting. No, let's go with that. Let's go with Sky Scribe, because something like the spell comprehend languages from Dungeons and Dragons would allow you to get past the problem of understanding them. Yep. So let's go Sky Scribe, which is S. Sky HIJK. Okay, so it's going to go here. There we go. Nice. And the last one is going to be the one that, now, I want to take this word, I like the idea of communicating by displaying flowers. That is some nut stuff. That is very clever. So let's see which one is it going to come up with. Flowers, by illustrating a Victorian language of flowers. Oh, okay. Is a simple or fancy name for the language of flowers. It's about flowers. Within the art of fluorography, every flower carries its own special meaning or symbolism. This can also be influenced by its variety and color. variety and colour. I am liking this. Just because it's just nuts. Let's get rid of the fluoroscope. Okay. The creature uses okay. The creature communicates its meaning by the display of different flower varieties and color. There we go. There's our last one, I believe. I believe that will be our last one. So we go cut. It's F. And do we have one in F? We do. We are after the farter. Put it there. We go. And paste it. That is some weird stuff, but that's the nature of these things. Is we want monsters that are very strange, and this pretty much, I believe, I'm pretty satisfied that this covers pretty much anything we might want to have. And I'm sure somebody will let me know if we need to continue, but I think 40 is enough. I think 40 is a good number. Bonus. Tower Talker. What have you got here? So we've got offertory. You want to change the word? Hello, Derp. Derp is a patron. Thank you for being here. Do you want to change offertory to offlocation? Because we've got offertory. The monster emits smells and can detect slight odors to communicate. Offlocation. What does offlocation actually mean? Is it a better tag name? Effect. Is that it? No. Effecticon. It's not a word as far as I can tell. This here does is the sense of smell that results from detection of odors, substances, odorization in the environment, along with vision. Okay. Well, yes, we can at least change the tag name if you like. I'm fine with that. It's not a huge alteration if you ask me. And we put it in. There we go. There. So that's a little bit of an adjustment. Okay, bonus. Tower Talker. The creature communicates by creating small towers out of stone and sticks. Each building material and design means something different. Meanings of roses. Okay, all right. Bonus. What we're going to say, Norok, your bonus Tower Talker is yours. I'm not going to put it on the list. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I'm not leaving it off because I don't like the idea. It's just now we have a nice even number. There are 40 rather than 41. Is that really ultimately truly important? Probably not. In fact, it definitely isn't. Because what are you going to do? Are you going to roll a 40-sided dice and do this randomly, or are you going to just select from the 40 that are here what you want. Most people are not going to necessarily roll two 20-sided dice to try to figure this out. So I'm all good with that. So, yeah. I'm just going to go with 40 because it's a nice even number. And that wraps it up. So we did it. 40 monster communication methods. And they cover a broad spectrum of different ideas to give you all sorts of wackiness that you may not have had before. Well done. Nice job. I will do my very best to put it onto Patreon at the end of the week, along with the village adventure, Oakhurst, not village, town, isn't it? Oakhurst Town Adventure, which is basically a town location with a whole bunch of NPCs, descriptions of those locations, and a little goal that your player characters may be able to take part in. So that'll hopefully go up, hopefully, at the end of the week. That was my intention. The color speech could be funny and dangerous. If the color change occurs too quickly, it causes seizures. Yeah, so we've got communication by changing color. So so we've got that there already. How's it going, China81? How are you doing? I added it as a bonus because I was halfway done writing it. No problem, Noroak. We are. I'll tell you what. I will copy it. And I'll put it in the document as a bonus. I'll just separate it from the rest. So it's still 40, but there's a bonus because you want it to be a bonus. Bonus. There we go. It's bonus. It's not boner, it's bonus. I will bold it and underline bonus. And then I will put in there tower talker. I'm doing it now. Creature communicates by creating small towers out of stone and sticks. Each building material and design means something different. There you go. It is in. I just need to turn it into a document and spend a bit of time on Patreon putting it there. So if you don't believe I didn't add it to the list, I did. There it is. Okay? Why would I leave something off when patrons just want it all, right? You're going to just copy and paste my document anyway. It doesn't matter what my document looks like. I know this. I know you just, if you're going to use it or not use it, if you're going to use it, you're just going to copy and paste into your own documents. So you get the bonus. The bonus is on. It's done. It's in there. There. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to end this poll. Let's see how this poll is working. We will be returning to customizing, crafting, building, making, whatever you want to say, monsters in about 2 months. But tomorrow I deal with monster lore and we do a lot of monster creation there, which means we're going to have to start a new table because we finished this one. It's done today. So we're probably going to be working on something different tomorrow after I present the Frost Cloud. It's an elemental creature. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. So for those of you who want to show up, be part of that, I suspect we'll be doing monster senses. We haven't actually got a table of just lots of different monster senses, so you can pick and choose or roll randomly to build your monster out. So maybe it would be nice to have everything you could possibly think of, monster senses. There's a lot of sensors, so we could do a lot of things with that. So do you customize your own monsters? 70% of you said yes. 17% of you said no. Just watching 11% and incomplete is 0 out of 17 votes. Not bad. So there is something else I need to say. For those of you who are aware, I have been redesigning or remastering or fixing, whatever you want to call it, adjusting, modifying the Dungeons & Dragons 5e classes. And I started doing the races. I did the human. I also did the dwarf last Friday in New Zealand, right? New Zealand time. Thursday for you in North America. And this week, I'm going to be doing the elf and something else. I think it's the elf and the gnome. is it elf and the half? I think it's the elf and the halfling. We've done human and we've done dwarf, and doing elf and halfling this Friday. And we'll be going back, and I'll be finishing the sorcerer as well. I just want the temperature to drop a little bit, because it's hard to sit there for 4 or 5 hours doing this sort of thing. So, but what happened is somebody asked me, why, Fred, do you not like bonus actions in Dungeons and Dragons 5e? Okay, so this is my point. Somebody said, why don't you like the bonus action in Dungeons and Dragons 5e? Because I was talking about designing races and classes without using bonus actions, and they wanted me to explain all of that in the comments section. So what I will do is I will sit down and I'll itemize everything that I dislike about the bonus action, and I will present that at some point, maybe at the end of the week as a lead into the design process. I will record it, I will cut it, crop it up, and turn it to an edited video at some point. He also said, why, since you don't like bonus actions, why don't you like dark vision in races or species? Now that I'll do as another separate video, and I'll do it in a live stream, probably not necessarily at the end of this week, we'll see. And I'll cut that, splice it up, and make it its own video and release it. So you can watch it in the live stream, or you can watch it as an edited video at some point when I get round to getting it done. Because I don't want to keep answering why I don't like bonus actions and why I don't like every single race or species, or so many of them, having dark vision over and over again in the comments section. It's actually a waste of my time. I just like yourself, I have a full-time job, I do this on the side, and I do 6 live streams. So sometimes when you have a question for me and it requires a lot of information from me to give to you, it is better for you to simply ask, is it possible for you to make a video out of it? And that might actually work better. Does that make sense? Yeah. Lightning, light that fire by all means. I'm not fond of how 5e have string of extra actions for a PC. Yeah, and so I will explain all of that at some point. Probably at the end of the week, I'll try to do bonus actions, and then I'll cut it and record it so I can actually release it as a separate video, so that I don't have to keep answering that question. When somebody asks me that question, I can just throw because the question keeps coming up, and I know why the question keeps coming up. So make life easy for myself. Answer the question in a video and refer them to the video, so I don't have to keep talking about it. Because I have actually talked about it. Last week I did actually mention why I don't like bonus actions, but it was so quick, I think a lot of the information may have got lost, or people don't really pay attention. Because remember, YouTube, I believe the attention span is about 8 seconds, like a fish. So they might not necessarily catch what I say. And because I know I talk quite quickly sometimes, being from New Zealand, we flow everything together, kind of sounds the same. I know for some of you might struggle with that. So I'll do my best to itemize everything and present it. Anyway, we're done. We're done for today. Monsters. We will be back for more monster stuff, monster lore, building monster stuff tomorrow. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you for everybody who took part in the poll. Thank you for watching and listening. I do appreciate it. Thank you for putting up with my silly rant that I just put forward. I don't know that necessarily that many of you are going to find out, other than the very dedicated ones. Those of you who took part in the poll was great. I do appreciate that. Watching and listening is good too. But really what makes it the difference is if you subscribe and you use the comment section in the live chat. So thank you, Noroak. Thank you, Fred Huber. I really do appreciate it. Shiner81, you've been great. Derp, thank you for jumping in as well. Fred Huber, we cannot forget Fred Huber. Without Fred Huber, it just would not work. And of course, we had Pale Rider here as well. And without your feedback, and also Peter. Oh, I almost forgot about Peter. But yes, without your feedback, without your comments, these live streams would suck. So thank you so much. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours, particularly if they're a T-Rex or a giant ape. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.